All right. Hello and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time of the month again. We're going to be back on track here for round number 5 of Formula GT. Just going to wait for some players to get into the lobby. Oh, we have Ian Henwood in here already. Always awesome to see. So, hello everybody and welcome to round 5 of the Formula GT Season 8. We have a spectacular race here for you today. My name is Patrick Coleman, or Rekus, and today we got 27 laps around the Nürburgring GP. Really excited. This is a historic track. One of my personal favorite tracks to drive on. And yeah, just going to go ahead and pull up some of the track information for you real quick. So, this track, the Nürburgring. If you've been in any form of car community or anything like that, you've definitely heard of the Nürburgring. The Nordschleife layout is the layout that everybody knows. It's a 16-mile track through what is known as the Green Hell. We're not on that version today. We are on the far more civil and far more appropriate Grand Prix appropriate track of the GP circuit. This track is just under 3.2 miles in length, and it is one of the most iconic tracks known to mankind. It is one of the most highly regarded tracks in Grand Prix racing. It hasn't been in use for Formula 1 since 2020, but it is definitely a track that a lot of people are requesting to come back. Very fun track. It's got a lot of different and unique styled corners to it. And it's honestly one of the trickiest tracks that we will race on for this season. So can't wait to see how these very skilled drivers handle it. And yeah, I'm going to pull some additional information based on the Gran Turismo website. And something to note here is that this track actually uses a balanced mid-speed balance and performance setting. So you're going to pretty much get like a perfect mixture of a car that's great on straights but also has a good amount of downforce. So this is really the 50-50 setup here. As we go and inspectate one of the new drivers that will be making his first appearance of the season, Ian Henwood, the owner of IHR, is actually going to be on track today, and he's also the founder, or one of the founding members of Formula GT. So it's always great to have him here today, and I am just excited to see how he does here today. We'll also go ahead and pull up some standings as he rounds up, or makes his rounds around the track. IHR is actually in a pretty good spot here when it comes to the team championship. So right now, in terms of the ranking, IHR is currently 4th. They've had, and this is also granted that they missed the first round of action completely. And they've had some pretty solid results here through the season. They're also a very strong force within the preseason. Their most successful race was 32 points in Belgium. We'll see if they can top that today. Their main opponents right now is Project Zero. Project Zero is only about 4 points behind them when it comes to the team standings. So Ian Henwood, this is his first race, so his driver standings aren't going to be as important as the team standings, at least in the context of this race. But yeah, we have Viper on track as now the current championship leader, who had a very strong race last time out in Austria, the Red Bull Ring, a track that's very notorious for track limits. He got first place, but also something to note was that last race was the only race of the season so far that he did not get fastest lap. Fastest lap was taken by Gomez, the Mexican driver from Scuderia Racing Force. And yeah, who's also had a very strong season. Viper has a 12-point lead right now in the Drivers' Championship. So he'll definitely want to keep pressing that advantage. He's been first and second for every single race of the season. He got second place in Brands Hatch and Spa, and first place in Barcelona and Austria. He's looking to continue that form here today. And he's only, he's 12 points ahead, but in the Teams Championship, the EXO High Caliber squad is the one to look out for. They are 21 points ahead of them currently, and they have outscored them in every single race so far this season. But that could change all here today, because you never know what to expect when it comes to Formula GT. Wild things can happen. We have seen some very chaotic moments here just over the course of the season. So we have Killswitch and C-Chan also here, just sitting in the pits. So if you're new to Formula GT, first off, welcome, and thank you for showing up. We're really glad to have you here. And second off, I'll go and explain how things work. So we take about a good 30 minutes to go ahead and just get the drivers warmed up and make sure they're in their element. And then we start qualifying around 1 o'clock. And then we give them about a 5-minute break to get water, use the restroom, grab some snacks if that's how they operate. And then we race for 27 laps for today's Grand Prix. So yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know. We have a singular session of qualifying, so if you're familiar with Formula 1, first off, you have taste. F1 is amazing to watch. But we only have a single qualifying session, so we don't have qualifying 1, 2, or 3. It is just qualifying. Fastest time gets pole position. That is just how qualifying operates. We have a little bit of a connection moment with Schulte and B23. B23 started off as a high caliber racing driver. Or sorry, he started off this season as a Soe racing driver, but now he's on the side of the EXO High Caliber squad, which is recently actually celebrating their 2nd anniversary from earlier in the week. So congratulations to the High Caliber Racing Squad for celebrating their 2nd anniversary. Can't wait to see many more years from you guys, because you guys have always brought out some outstanding talent. We already have support for one of their drivers, with support for B23 right now. B23 has had a very interesting season so far. Like I mentioned earlier, he started off in Soe, but for the last few races, he has been the 2nd pilot of the EXO High Caliber machine. So I wonder if this means it'll be a full-time move for next season. We'll see if that becomes the case here over the course of the next season. Right now, B23 is 5th in the driver standings, only 7 points behind Flaring Aces, but only 1 point behind C-Chan. C-Chan had a pretty solid race out last time, so that will be a driver position to really think about. Right out here, the other high caliber racing driver, he's been pretty solid. I mean, he's 3rd in the driver standings right now. He's won 2 out of the 3 races he competed in, because he missed Barcelona, but he won in Belgium and he won in Brands Hatch, but he couldn't quite get the win in Austria last time out. He got his lowest position, which is a P3, which P3 is not bad at all, getting a podium spot. So a thing to know about all 3 of our top drivers when it comes to Formula GT in the driver standings, all 3 of them have been on the podium every single time they've actually raced. The only outsider of the podium was Lucian, who got 2nd place in Spain, and the driver who is currently 7th in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. So we'll just keep an eye on how things are playing out, because I mean, there's still a lot to play for. Now, there is a break in between this race and the next race at Monza, about a 2 or 3 week gap in between these 2 races, so it'll be a good chance for these drivers to kind of catch their breath, recuperate, but also gives them a lot more practice time if they so choose to do that. I know some of these drivers do compete in multiple leagues at the same time, so it also gives them a shot to focus on any other leagues that they're competing in. Like I know Whiteout, for example, also competes with Grand Prestige League in their Super GT season. or the GT500 season, I mean. Very intense racing. Unfortunately, the last stream was loaded with tech problems, but hopefully that was a one-off, because, I mean, the racing, even with the tech problems on the broadcasters end, the racing itself was still excellent. These drivers are so talented, and I just have a lot of respect for all the drivers here on the grid. Because I honestly could not keep up with any of these drivers. These guys are fast. I mean, I'd be even confident to say that these drivers would give the F1 esports drivers a run for their money, if not beat them. These guys are wicked fast. And speaking of fast, there's a blistering fast time from Viper with a 1:34 on the track right now. He's got a little bit of dirt on his tires, so he must have went off at one point, or that could just be the sun reflecting. I think it's more the latter. And there's a lot of bits of that marble on track, so I mean, this track it is tricky, right? I mean, the layout, now that I actually look at it, the layout is kind of like Monaco, except you can actually pass on the track, and this track isn't usually a snooze fest. And with how talented these drivers are, I can definitely say that we're in for an exciting one today. While these drivers lap around on track, I do want to give a shout out to our season sponsors of IHR Karting Accessories and Velocity Media, as well as Fuel Can. If you go to fuelcan.shop, you can go ahead and get yourself a Formula GT bottle, or you can even get Formula GT stickers. I just ordered one recently, waiting for it to come in, and I'm gonna find a spot to throw it on my laptop. So definitely check out fuelcan.shop if you want a bit of Formula GT merch. Because, I mean, honestly, it looks really good. I like the bottle a lot. And they did not pay me to say this. I just genuinely like the bottle. It's got a little bit of wear on it because I take it literally almost everywhere. So yeah, good bottle, dishwasher safe, and it keeps drinks cold for quite a while. So 10 out of 10, definitely recommend it. But what I do recommend also is getting the most amount of time you can on practice, and also advise to don't spin out, put your car in the gravel. B23, getting a little squirrely there. If you carry a bit too much speed into the corners, you can lose the car pretty quickly, especially if you touch a little bit of gravel, because these cars are affected a lot by sudden changes of surface that they run on, and also wind too. So there is a wind blowing to the northeast, not as strong as we have seen in the past, but these cars are so lightweight and so aerodynamic that if they get hit with a tailwind, then they're as good as a Beyblade, honestly. So Viper taking a bit of a rallycross approach there when it comes to those curbs, just getting a little bit bumpy there. So I mean, that's the nice thing about practice, is that times don't really matter much in practice. I mean, you can't really carry over your practice time to your qualifying time. But, and also you can make a mistake and pretty much just get away with it. Unlike the real world, you can pretty much just go back to the pits and fix your car like instantly without tearing into your cost cap or your in-game funds, which is nice. Because, I mean, honestly, if that was the case, I would be in debt by a long shot. So yeah, oh, I'm seeing a lot of these cars get a little squirrely on this track. Definitely some of those cold tires just burning up a bit, or just not necessarily having the most amount of grip that they could have. We're even seeing, you know, support from people in the chat to other people in the chat. You love to see it. What you don't love to see is a Formula GT machine become a lawnmower. Hopefully that does not carry over to the main race for any of these drivers, because we love to see clean racing, we love to see good racing, and this series has quite a bit of both. So definitely can't wait for the actual race to start. while we're on board, actually, let's go on board with Ian Henwood. Bring the IHR captain along, as is Honda powered. Oh, he gets a little squirrely there. Now, it is very interesting to see a team owner get involved. We haven't seen a whole lot of that. We don't necessarily see a lot of team owners get behind the wheel immediately, but it's always awesome when we do see it, because usually, especially in the esports world, they can be quite fast. So, I mean, and the IHR cars have been pretty consistent throughout the season, consistently like either going at podiums or trying to fight for one. They're usually solidly in the midfield. Just going back to the IHR team results as of right now, I mean, so far with any of their drivers, they have a best finish of 4th, with J-Mac in Spain getting a 4th place there. But still, I mean, between the range of 4th through 6th is usually where they land. The only outlier was the substitute driver that we had last time out, Ricky, who was in this first event ever, who still got a P9. So, I mean, getting P9 as a rookie driver isn't too shabby. He actually made up 2 places from his qualifying spot in P11. So, you'll love to see it. You know, it's always awesome seeing new drivers and rookies get the shot into the league and getting their first taste of running the real race car. So yeah, oh, we actually have Matt here currently. Okay, there is some problems going on with a little bit of the connectivity, although it is most certainly due to we have some new drivers joining in. So now Matt, the driver we are currently on board with, is the other rookie scheduled for today's race, and he is on Scuderia Racing Force. So for the first time since Spain, for the first time since Brands Hatch at the beginning of the season, we have 2 Racing Force drivers on track. So Gomez, who has been consistently who's been on the podium every single race, with his best finish being 2nd in Austria, where he also got fastest lap. He now has a teammate and a wingman to go alongside him with the Alfa Romeo powered car of Matt here that we're seeing on track, but we haven't seen Gomez yet. I know sometimes Gomez has a tricky time getting into the lobby at some points, but he could still just be doing his own independent practice. And if you are just now joining us, thank you so much and welcome to Formula GT. We love to have you here. We're gonna have a good race for you today. 2 new drivers who are just entering the season for the first time, and it's gonna be good. IHR is bringing in a new driver with the team owner of IHR is actually here, the driver we're currently on board with at the moment, and Matt, the other Racing Force driver, actually appearing as well. So we are very excited to have these 2 new drivers coming into the first races of the season. Matt, I believe, is actually making his series debut in general. Now, Henwood has been in Formula GT before, but this is his first race he'll be starting this season on the behalf of the IHR squad. And so, definitely going to keep an eye on those 2 to see how they do here in Germany. And I am very excited to see how this race is just going to play out. New drivers on a track that a lot of them have experience with. And yeah, I think we're going to have a blast here today for this race. So, it is about almost 10 minutes to quali. It is actually 10 minutes to quali. So, we're just going to go ahead and let the drivers know quali starts in 10 minutes. Usually like to give the drivers a quick little heads up about qualifying starting in about 10 minutes or so. And, yeah, so I'll give you some other racing details in case you're also new to Formula GT. Each driver has to use 2 tire compounds. They have to use the medium and the soft compound. They can start on whichever one they so choose, but they have to use both tire compounds within a race. we don't allow drivers to use the hard compound, and since we don't use rain in any of the races, there's no real sense in running the intermediate or wet compound tires. So it's racing softs and racing mediums only for these drivers. And that's really the only mandatory pit stop that they have. Now, there's no like set limit of pit stops they must do outside of they have to run both the soft and the medium tire compound. That is the only thing that they have to do in terms of tires. They don't have to refuel. The fuel setting is at the point where, unless they just burn through a lot of gas doing unnecessary actions on track, then they should have enough gas from the beginning of the race to go all the way to the end. We have seen some drivers get a slight splash of fuel so they can push more, but that does take more time out of the pits. So it's really a gamble. It truly is a gamble if you decide to refuel. Most drivers don't. Going to be a slippery race? Yeah, I believe so. We're seeing a lot of that. Oh, I think we have another new driver? I wasn't aware of this other driver appearing, but maybe it's a team member. We'll just have to see. Right now, a lot of the drivers are running the soft tire. I think we've seen a few drivers run the medium compound, but not a whole lot. The Messiah has arrived. Oh, okay. This is a driver I am actually unfamiliar with. I'm gonna have to actually inquire about that because I have not seen this driver or this car before. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check in on that one. We'll keep an eye on it. It's a clean livery. I like the like sort of prismatic purple that we have here. Oh, is this actually a? Yeah, I am looking and I don't. Yeah, we're definitely going to keep an eye on that driver to see what team he's on. The colors are sort of reminiscent of the Sohei racing cars, but yeah, I will have to ask about that, definitely. But anyways, we'll get confirmation on who the driver is, and oh, we have more new drivers actually filing in for this. So we'll definitely have to make adjustments and get ready for those drivers. A little bit of connectivity there with Vicious, the new American driver. Yeah, I'm actually going through the archives and trying to find out any information on VGRT because he was not on our schedule. Okay, so that is actually a driver that actually, I think that's a driver that's not supposed to be in here. So we will have to remove him before qualifying begins. Unfortunately, because there's no record of who this driver is. So unfortunately, we do have to eliminate Vicious from here. Actually, oh, sorry, wrong driver. Yeah, we don't know who Vicious is, and I just try to message Race Control to see who Vicious is, but okay, so we're having a bit of connectivity issues with Gomez, as unfortunate as it is. Arturo is here now. Gomez is having issues with joining the room. He infiltrated the compound. Yeah, totally. So far, we are on round number 5. This is round 5 of the season. We go to round 9, I believe. So we're right at the halfway point of the season. And every other track from here on out is just going to be a banger. So now that we have fixed that, Spillane is actually in a high caliber car. Oh, I accidentally turned on the wrong thing. So Spillane is an Irish driver driving a high caliber racing machine. So I wonder if it's the case of B20. So I think we already have, yeah, we have Whiteout and we have Whiteout B23 for the high caliber machine. I wonder who's this other high caliber. I wonder if one of those high caliber drivers is gonna switch. Like maybe B23 is gonna go back to Sohei. We'll check in on that and then we'll provide you information as soon as we humanly can. Alright, yeah, we'll go ahead and try to provide everybody with a race update as soon as we can about if Spillane is going to be a high caliber driver or it's... I mean, what sometimes happens is Pixel will sometimes like just run the practice sessions and then just not happen for the race. Oh, and there's Artura with a refreshed livery on the Red Bull Adidas car. Or, yeah, that is the Red Bull Adidas car with Mercedes power unit, I noticed, on the front of the car. That is a very Super Formula-esque livery, and I'm all for it. Yeah, there is 3 high caliber drivers. Oh, there's a bit of contact between Artura and Schultze there. Luckily, this is practice, so it's not going to affect too much, but that is very unfortunate. Yeah, we're going to try to get some things cleared up because there are 3 high caliber racing drivers here. Schultze has left the room. Hopefully, he'll be back in time for the race. A little bit of contact with Artura there for a little bit, but since it is practice and nothing really carries over, there's no car damage that carries over from this to qualifying, so I don't think Stewart's would do anything about that. Other drivers are just joining in. Yeah, this is unusual. Oh, but Grunders has an unusual mistake into the wall, but we have seen that that track is very slippery today. As the wind has picked up 3 feet per second here in the same direction. Actually, it's going a bit more towards more eastward. All right, so we are gonna take a step back for a moment. Okay, Keeg has left the room. So we're gonna try to figure out the issue with. We do have some issues we do need to figure out. We got to figure out this situation with the high caliber racing drivers. And then we gotta, we're gonna take a, oh, Viper actually has left the room as well. We're gonna go ahead and, we're gonna try to figure out the high caliber thing. Like why there's 3 high caliber drivers and see what's going on with that. And then we will get to racing because per regulations, you can only have 2 cars per team at maximum. Now you can have a lot of different drivers for a team, but only 2 on track at a time. Unless this is a situation where Pixel will join in for practice, but then just steps out of the actual race. So we'll figure out the high caliber, multiple drivers with high caliber. We'll see what's going on there, and then yeah, and then we'll get to qualifying. Viper has left the room once again. For right now, I would just say go ahead and grab a snack, get some water, get your energy drink, get your soda, get whatever you're going to get before we start qualifying, because qualifying is going to be fast and intense. But it will be a minute because we are trying to figure out the high caliber situation. Oh, is Spillane in a... He's in a different car now. We'll see if he goes out on track in this new car. So, here's Spillane again. He's trying to get Exo Aston Martin. So he's running an Aston Martin livery now. Also part of the Exodus family. Exodus Motorsports. I know that you typically have two teams. One team that they run for Grand Prestige League, and then another team that they run for Formula GT. But we haven't seen the Aston Martin front come out. So we So we still have some drivers still trying to get in. Okay, Viper's here again. We're waiting. Gomez and B23 in particular, the main ones we are waiting on. We're actually about to have a full grid this time. I don't think we've had a full grid yet this season, so that will be very exciting to have 14 cars on track. We're close. We just need 3 more. We'll go ahead and check in. Get some updates on Gomez and a few of the other drivers. We have B23 and another Greek driver. I don't know who this driver is. So, practice is getting slightly extended while we try to figure this stuff out. I don't know who GR is. I love seeing all the different nationalities that we have represented here. We have America, we have Britain, Japan, Canada, Ireland, the Netherlands, Mexico. And I don't think GR is part of this. So we hopefully we will see you on the grid at some point, because I have no doubt that you're actually a good driver. But unfortunately we have to boot you because you are not a part of the league. As far as I know, talks with Race Control, and so far that was the case, that he was not a driver that's usually with us. So we're just gonna mostly wait, because B23 and Gomez, actually if we get those two, then we will indeed have a full grid. So I'll just let everybody know what's going on. We're just waiting on 2 different drivers now. We're waiting for B23 and Gomez. Okay, B23 is here, so we're just waiting on Gomez. Hopefully we get Gomez, because Gomez is a very consistent podium scoring driver. He's been on the podium every single race this season. And B23 had to pick up dog poop. I don't know if that was the true reason. That'd be funny if it was, but yeah. So we're just gonna go ahead and give it a few extra minutes to wait on Gomez. Now, we will still have a Racing Force driver here in Matt. But that would be a consistent podium scoring driver just out. And that is not what we want. We want to see... But it would mean a new driver would be available for a podium spot now. So Artur has also left the room, so you gotta wait for him to get back as well. We'll try to get qualifying going at about 13, 15, maybe. That's like what we're gonna aim for. It is very unfortunate. Yeah, I will agree with Whiteout and B23. Servers have been an iffy thing in the last few weeks, because when we were doing the, when me and B23 were trying to compensate for the GT500 category for GPL, and if B23 is watching, he can attest, but that was a very buggy day for servers and streams in general. So luckily we're not having those kind of tech problems, but we are still running into tech problems in general. So Artur's back in the room. We're really just missing Gomez. We're just missing Gomez, and we're still figuring out what's up with Spillane. So we'll try to get going as soon as we can. We still do have some things we gotta fix up, so I want to thank all of you guys who are just joining in, or if you've been here for a while, thank you guys so much for popping in, and we also do appreciate your patience. We'll be going back to the track here soon. We are just trying to figure out some things. We have an extra high caliber racing driver, and one of the Racing Force drivers are still unable to get into the lobby. So we'll just see. We'll just try to figure some things out. Okay, so Spillane is actually not supposed to be here, so unfortunately, good sir, we will have to remove you. High Caliber just gave word that he's actually not supposed to be here. So we are down to 12 drivers, or 11 drivers. Sorry, I keep forgetting that it counts me because I'm in the lobby technically. So I'll actually have to update that on the, because I actually added that driver to the standings just in case that was an actual driver that we were gonna have. Actually, I could just change him to a reserve. All right, so. Oh, I actually did forget to do something. I forgot to actually announce that the stream was live. Whoops. Alright, so, we apologize that this is taking so long. Just chatting a little bit with Race Control to see what's going on about what we're going to do about Gomez. It might be a lobby reset. We might try to reset the lobby. This has definitely been an interesting day. We're gonna try a lobby reset. If the actually, we'll give it about an extra 5 minutes. We're just gonna go ahead and we do have a schedule we have to be on. Unfortunately, we might not get Gomez, which is unfortunate. So we'll give it about an extra 5 minutes and see if we can get our other driver in. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Gomez is always a very exciting driver to watch. He's always had issues with joining the lobby, but he's usually been able to get into the lobby. So, yeah, that's very unfortunate that we're going to be missing one of the Racing Force drivers. But if you're a fan of the Racing Force team and the Racing Force livery, you still have a representative this time, as Matt, one of the rookies currently coming into this race, is going to go ahead and make his debut. So, very awesome to see. And can't wait to see how he does, as well as Henwood from IHR. So, two new drivers, or new to the season anyway for drivers. And we're going to just get on with it once we hit about 4 minutes from now. So we're actually going to see if anyone's actually on track for those few minutes. We do have some more cars on track, so we'll just go ahead and go to them. Viper's still trying to get some extra laps in. Same with Aces, C-Chan, B23, and Crunders. The car's currently on track. I'm sure these drivers will be benefiting from the extended practice session while we had some technicalities we had to sort through. So, yeah, it is unfortunate. I unfortunately think we just won't have Gomez this time. It is a bummer, but hopefully he'll be able to join us next round when we go to Monza after the, I guess, sort of fall break that we're kind of having. Yeah, we'll just hope that he is able to come back around, and maybe we'll try to fix some other issues that we may be having as well, ideally. So, anyways, practice will be wrapping up in about 2 minutes, and it's going to be qualifying time at the Nürburgring here in Germany. Very exciting stuff. Now, typically, your best qualifiers are Viper, Whiteout, and Gomez, but if Gomez is unable to make it, then that frees up a third place spot, like it did in Spain when Whiteout wasn't around. So we'll see who's going to fill that third spot on the podium today, because, I mean, statistically right now, is there a mic echo? Thank you for letting me know. Not sure why that would be the case. Let me try some things. Not sure if that fixed anything, but hopefully it did. If there's still any issues, please let me know and I'll try to fix it. Sometimes, because I mean, truth be told, this is an ancient headset. I've had this since like 2018, so it's an headset that's been through the ringer and back. I got a new headset. It just doesn't work as well with my PlayStation as it does with my laptop, so I am working with, I mean, it's a good headset. It's a HyperX headset. I forget exactly what model of HyperX, but it's a good headset, so I like it. Alright, qualifying should be starting up here pretty soon. I just checked if there's any echo on the headset, so I think we did fix it on stream. So, alright. It's qualifying time, ladies and gentlemen. It's qualifying at 27 laps around the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit here in Germany. The home track of Mercedes-Benz and Audi as well. And yeah, we're about to go live. It's qualifying. And who's going to be the first one to go out? Everybody's going to be going out on the soft tires. Now, if you are new here, the soft tire provides more grip, but at the expense of tire life. Which, for qualifying, you just need that one solid good lap, so that plays out perfectly. So the wind has slightly intensified, but not by enough to really make it a huge difference compared to what drivers are used to, at least from practice earlier. Viper was taking a bit of an IndyCar line on his outlap, but it's alright. It is just an outlap, so it's not really going to affect anything for the outlap because the outlap really doesn't count. So this is one of the longer outlaps that we're going to have here. Longer than Austria, definitely, at the Red Bull Ring, but not as long as Spa. Spa is by far the longest outlap that we have. Now, if we were doing the actual Nürburgring, like the full 16-mile layout of the Nordschleife, then you wouldn't even have enough time to do an outlap by the time qualifying would be wrapped up. Because yeah, you need a bit longer of a qualifying. You probably honestly need a solid 30 minutes of quality for that, while we run about 10. So right now we have some drivers that are about to go ahead and start their actual fast laps. Viper's the first one on a flyer. And Viper has been very strong this season. First and second every single race, with fastest lap on every race but the last one in Austria. And overall, very talented driver. We love seeing him drive. He's a clean driver as well. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on him. Current championship leader as well. Deadeye Racing is looking in a very good spot to take both championships on their first season of Formula GT. Deadeye Racing is indeed a brand new team. So it's awesome to see that a new team is having such a strong impact on the world of Formula GT. But somebody who has never been far behind is Whiteout. Whiteout has been a very solid contender as well, also finishing within the podium for every race he started. But the reason why he's not as far up in the points as Viper is because he missed out in round 2. He was the winner of round 1 and round 3, but lost out in rounds. Well, he wasn't around for round 2, but he didn't quite get the W in round 4. So he currently sits 3rd in the driver's standings at this current point of time. Actually, 2nd. He currently sits. Oh no, he sits 3rd. I was right the first time. But that actually does give Viper a good amount of breathing room that Gomez is unfortunately unable to make it for this race. Oh, I forget which race it was, but he wasn't able to make it to qualifying. But he actually showed up for the actual race, started at the back of the grid, and fought his way to 3rd. I think that was Spa, actually. Yeah, I think that was actually Spa. But Viper's gonna definitely, unless he has a terrible race, which hopefully that's not commentator's curse kicking in or anything, but he's currently going to extend that championship lead. He is currently in the lead by 12 points, but one race can really dethrone that whole effort. Viper right now is on track for pole position. Schulte is actually in the room, but I think he'll actually be able to take part in qualifying as the other Project Zero car. Yes, he will be. As long as you get in before qualifying ends, you'll still be able to run your lap. So, might play to his advantage a bit. The track is going to be a bit more rubbered in at the moment, but there's no set tire allocation either, so you can burn through as many sets of softs as you want without any real penalty. Unlike in other racing games like Formula 1, for example, where you're pretty much only limited to between 1 and 3 sets of soft tires. Sometimes depending on lobby settings you could have more, but you ideally really only have like 1 or 2 sets of soft tires. But with Gran Turismo being set up in the way it is, these drivers have infinite amounts of soft tires that they could run for qualifying, so they can pretty much just do a qualifying lap, reset the pits, and then go back at it again. But the only downside is that they have to do another outlap. It's round 5. And honestly, the intensity is just going to get hotter as the season goes on. It is slightly unfortunate that we will be taking a break after this race wraps up. Tad bit unfortunate, but so, and a thing that I was actually just asking about from Gomez is Gomez might be trying to still get into the lobby. He'll just start from the back, which we have seen him do it before. He missed qualifying, joined the lobby shortly after qualifying, and then actually got a podium out of it still. So, I mean, it is very possible, especially because Gomez is very good on his overtake and his tires. A lot of these drivers are kind of taking IndyCar style lines, but they're just getting away with it. Although I know sometimes that the track does have its moments of having weird lines because of the Nürburgring layout. So right now our top three are Whiteout, Viper, and Yuki. The Project Zero driver about to get the best qualifying result for the team all season. So that is very good stuff there from the Japanese driver. C-Chan as well, making his laps around. Let's see, how much is the gap? Oh, so there's only a 1/10 of a second between Whiteout and Viper, but then 2 whole seconds to Yuki in third. That just shows that Whiteout and Viper are definitely the quickest drivers we have on track at the moment. A 1:33 is a very strong time indeed from the British driver there. Excellent stuff. We're seeing some really good qualifying laps. And look at Henwood here. Mr. Henwood is over here in 4th place on his first outing all season. Good stuff there. And this will be, I think, another really solid qualifying spot for IHR. See if he can keep up that streak, or maybe even get the first podium of the season for them. Now, it is worth noting that, although unfortunately we don't have the VODs for it, the preseason races that we had in Laguna Seca and Suzuka, IHR actually got a race win out of those. So this IHR car it can win. It has the potential to win races. But with how dominant Viper and Whiteout have been all season, that opportunity has just not been around. Gonna take a look here at these drivers. Currently right now, Matt will actually improve his time, but not his position. He's almost 2 seconds quicker on that lap than he was on his original. We're down to about 2 minutes left, but each driver does get an additional 2 minutes to round out their qualifying lap, so they can just finish the lap that they are currently on. Right now it is still Viper and Whiteout taking 1-2 again for I'm not sure what, but I know it's happened quite a bit during the season. So right now I think it's but Yuki has put on a very strong lap to get P3 in qualifying for Project Zero. And this will do good because Project Zero right now, they are in direct competition with IHR right now, with only like 4 points between them. Project Zero was 71 and IHR was 75. So this race is going to be all to play for when it comes to getting 4th in this team's championship right now. But it could also be a good chance to try to catch up to Racing Force as well, because Racing Force is down their lead driver, at least as it stands. We'll see if we can try to get Gomez into the session. So far, unfortunately, that's not been the case. Oh, actually, wait a minute. I have some good news. We will have Gomez this race. He'll just be starting from the back, unfortunately. But Gomez is here. Actually, I think we can actually let him go. Well, I think qualifying is just wrapping up. I think, qualifying has just started at the end. But, yeah, Gomez is here. He'll just be starting from the back of the grid, unfortunately. But, so, Racing Force does have 2 drivers. Whiteout is posing for a Scapes photo at the moment. If you're a photographer, that's a pretty good shot, honestly. Especially get the driver out there, get like a sponsor placement, a very sponsor-friendly photo there for Whiteout, who's actually on top of the timing table. Who looks like he will get pole position here in Germany with a 1:33.808, about just over a tenth and a half faster than Viper's time. And Viper's done. I believe C-Chan is done as well, maybe? Yeah, C-Chan I think is done. I think every driver, I think most drivers are done here. Kill Switch, I think, is one of the last remaining drivers on a fast lap here. He's gonna go across the last turn, and he's got it. He will not improve his time or his position. He'll start from P8 unless Krunders can improve. Well, Krunders is done too, so yeah, I think everybody's done. We're just waiting for that timer to run out. And then we'll have a 5-minute break, and then it'll be race 5 here in Formula GT. I think once we hit that 12-minute marker, it will go ahead and cease because there is 180 seconds afterwards. So 180 seconds just to ensure that everybody's got enough time to finish out their laps. It was definitely an issue during Spa. I think it was where it was a big issue back when we only had 30 seconds to complete a lap, just because of Spa being a 4-mile long track or 7-kilometer long track. So, all right. I think we're just waiting on Gran Turismo at the moment just to wrap up. Might be at 13. I know we had this weird hiccup thing last time out in Austria too, where it just took a while for the race to actually finish, even though nobody was out on a lap. And I think now we're actually about to get reset. Alright, we'll just go ahead and exit out of this real quick. So, oh, yep, there's like 10 seconds left, so, we'll just let them know what time the race starts at. Oh. Let's see. We'll give him an extra minute. So right now, your time, let's go ahead and just have you look at these times. Oh, that is the wrong thing. So your qualifying results right now, Whiteout takes P1, followed by Viper, C-Chan, Yuki, Flaring Aces. The season debutee of Ian Henwood takes P6, followed by P23, JDK. And then looking at the rest of the grid, we have Krunders, Matt, and Artura rounding out our grid. So we'll be back in a bit, folks. Don't go anywhere. Actually, go get yourself a drink, use the restroom, grab your snacks, scrap whatever you need, because this race is going to be a spicy one. We'll see you guys in a few. Alright, we are back. We still have about 2 minutes before we get going on this race here. So, something I forgot to mention, actually, when it comes to this, is that Gomez will start from P12 because he was unable to complete qualifying. But he is in this race. It won't show up on the times, but he is here for this race. Awesome. We are glad to have Gomez. He put up a very hard charge, and I believe it was Spa, where he started from the back of the grid as well, but made his way all the way to P3 in that race. So, Gomez definitely knows how to be very quick. He has been nicknamed Speedy Gomez for a reason. The Mexican driver is very rapid at all the tracks we've been to so far. A consistent force on the podium. We'll see if he can make a hard charge here today. So, just to give some extra updates on the track, so the thing to note is that we run 2x fuel consumption, which that means refueling won't be as big of an effect on these drivers, but we do have 4 times tire wear. It started out as sorry, my brain lost this train of thought for a second. It started off with 5 at the early races, or at least for the preseason races and race 1, but then we dumped it down to 4x, which didn't have a much effect in the first race we did at Barcelona, because Barcelona is a notorious tire muncher. This track isn't as much of one, but we'll see what the strategies are gonna go ahead and play out. The race is starting soon. Good luck, have fun, and let's get ready. It's round number 5 here at the Nürburgring GP here in Germany. It's going to be a spicy one here today. 2 new drivers and a Gomez that's definitely going to be on the pace. Let's go ahead and make sure those 5 red lights are ready to go out. Make sure no driver gets a false start. And we'll just see. We have our drivers. Oh, wait. Oh, hang on. We might have to do a... Gomez is not in. Oh, that's... And it's lights out and away we go. Although we may have a restart because Gomez isn't here. Gomez did not get in the race, so we might have a restart. We'll see if it actually lets... We may actually have a race reset. Some contact there, but it may be a race restart for Gomez. I don't see Gomez on here, so we may actually run a race reset. We will be resetting the lobby here. I apologize to the drivers, but we are going to have to reset the lobby. It was an issue on my end. It was indeed my mistake. We'll go ahead and reset it. We'll be back. Just going to go ahead and redo all the names and stuff. I don't know why Skibbity is in my search. Don't question it. I think I was looking at a meme livery at one point. Alright, so I apologize, and you guys will get to see some slight behind the scenes stuff. Alright, yep, everything should still be good to go. Seeing a little bit of behind the scenes. I will actually turn qualifying off, I just now realized that. So the grid will go back to how it was. So we're not having any, I do apologize, I know there's going to be some good racing, but it was a mistake on my end. So we will have to actually manually set the grid order. There is no qualifying at the moment. Nope. Alright, that's just that. Sorry. Slight technical problems. Once these drivers get in, we'll go ahead and make another lobby update. Alright, well, we got more people initializing. We do apologize for the wait. Every time I try to fix that setting, somebody starts initializing. That's alright, we're just glad to get our drivers back. Once this driver gets in, luckily I do have the grid order saved, because I key it in, during the breaks I key it into the software I use to keep track of the, stats and all that. So, the grid order is indeed saved, so once Crunders goes ahead and gets fully loaded in, we'll go ahead and set the grid. Who else is still initializing? Okay, I think it might have just been Gran Turismo having a stroke there, but should have set this actually before we got it, but okay, it's still saying somebody is initializing. I don't know who that initializing is. There we go. Now we're able to make the change. So we will go ahead and set the grid, or reset the grid once again. And actually, a good thing that was the case, because I didn't forget to make one change. All right, so Alright, so I think we just gotta wait for drivers to enter. So we'll go ahead and just as soon as Whiteout, and I think Whiteout's the only one that actually has to enter still. Not quite every. Okay, I think we have. I feel like we're missing someone. I'll start to go with what I can. Sichin actually is going to move up to P3. That's where he qualified. And then Viper and Whiteout are going to stay where they are. And then Aces is going to get promoted to P. Actually, yeah, P5. That's right. Alright. The IHR driver moving up to P6, followed by Killswitch. Just going to be just ahead of B20. Who's just going to be ahead of B23 there. Actually, wait. Nope. Got it wrong. Got to switch it back. And then Yeah, we are indeed missing someone. Artura. Okay, we are missing Artura. That will work for right now because that's everybody aside from Artura. And we actually might have a driver have to do some livery changes because of the livery rules. I might have misspelled that. If I did, I do apologize. So yeah, we have the grid set with the exception of Artura. Oh, Artura is saying he can't join. Okay, he's still trying to join the lobby. We'll get him slotted in and then we'll go ahead and get started. I do apologize that we've had some issues here today and some confusion, but yeah, Artura's having problems joining the lobby now. This is interesting. He was here earlier with no problems. Probably just Gran Turismo having a bit of an aneurysm, as it normally does, which is unfortunate, but we'll give it an extra bit to see if he's able to make a comeback into the lobby. Yeah, Artura's just having an issue with joining. Yeah, tech problems just happened. While we wait to see if Artura is gonna continue having this issue, and also for the record, I don't blame anyone. It's just tech problems. Tech problems happen. I went to Full Sail University in Winter Park. And every esports event I worked during my time at Full Sail during my master's degree, there's always been some sort of tech problem. So tech problems are just the way things happen. B23 can sympathize because that GT500 race that we were commentating on last Sunday. Oh my God, that was rough. That was way worse than this. I taught high school, tech problems are norm. Exactly. And I mean, Full Sail in general is a tech college. So, yeah, it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's just Gran Turismo being Gran Turismo. That's basically the best way to sum it up. Even when I was commentating, so just for some extra background on myself, I guess, while we pass the time, I've commentated for other racing games. I've commentated for, well, really the only other racing game, but I commentated for F1 23 and Need for Speed Unbound, which that was a whole story and a half. Yeah, and tech problems weren't as prevalent for F1, but trying to commentate for Unbound, a game that doesn't have spectator mode, was such a hassle. It was fun, don't get me wrong, but man, it was a hassle. But yeah, so we're still gonna wait on Artura. It's just tech problems, honestly. That's the best way to sum it up. If everything's just gonna have tech problems, even the, you know, there's been tech problems in even the highest level of esports. I mean, Kata's had tech problems here and there, so yeah, like even the tier 1 esports leagues that have several thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars of funding still run into tech problems. Technology is temperamental at times, so I fully get it. We're gonna try going until about 1340 or 50. We'll try 1350, and if he's not here, then we may have to go. Alright, we'll try one more lobby reset. one more lobby restart, and then if it doesn't happen this time, and then we're just gonna have to just go without. So we're gonna create a new room. We're gonna load the save. We're gonna make this change. Make that change so we don't have that initialization problem. All right, we'll try this again. So this is the last lobby restart we're gonna run. If it doesn't happen by 12 or 13:55, then we're just gonna have to go with it. It's unfortunate, but it's just what we're gonna have to do. But I mean, so one of the people that usually has a problem getting in, Gomez, got in perfectly fine. So there's that. We got at least one of the usual suspects in here. Glad to see you though. Now a lot of people are loading it on in. Great to see. All right, we're seeing driver's file on in now. So oh, I think we have just about everybody. I think Arturo is the last one that we have. Once again, we really do appreciate your patience. It's been a fun time so far, but I promise you, once we actually get racing, the racing is gonna be amazing. Alright, so once everybody actually joins in, we'll go ahead and just set the grid again. And then we should be going here at 13:55. Now Killswitch is having problems. It's just one of those days, I guess, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize. So we're just missing. We're missing two. We're missing Arturo and Killswitch. Killswitch is now the one having issues joining in. It's just one of those days, I suppose. It's unfortunate that now Killswitch is running into the issues. Alright, if this problem persists, yeah, now Killswitch is having problems as well, so I'm not sure what the cause of it is, aside from just GT being GT. Oh, there's Killswitch. Killswitch got in, so now we're just down to Arturo. Alright, so Killswitch got in, so I think it's just, unfortunately, Arturo's system having a problem, or just some weird compatibility problem. We saw it with Gomez. We've seen it with Gomez actually almost every race this season has had a weird issue with Gomez being unable to join. So who knows? I'm just gonna boil it down to Gran Turismo being Gran Turismo. Its servers have always had some quirks, to put it lightly. But yeah, we're gonna be here. We're gonna get going at 13:55 regardless. But beforehand, we got everybody on track now, so I will do the setting of the grid. I believe that's right. I'm gonna double check that based on my notes here. I would love to see Artura get back in. Artura is a very solid driver. Always adds a lot to the grid. And yeah, I mean, I just don't want any driver to miss out because that sucks. It is just not fun to, like, especially when you qualify for a race and then you're just through the connectivity or some other problem outside of your control. It just screws you out of getting into the race for the lack of a better phrase. Yeah, actually, I got it right off from memory. I'm proud of myself for that. Anyway, the grid is set. We'll start at 13:55, and we'll just have to go. Okay, so with something that race control just gave us is that if Artura isn't able to get into the race, he'll still be given 2 points as a consolation, which is nice, you know, good for your team. I believe he's the only Red Bull Adidas driver, so still valuable points for that team because every point matters, believe it or not. Later start than we normally run, and I do apologize, but I think we are finally gonna get back into the race. Okay, so Artura's gonna restart his PlayStation. That is the oldest fix known to technology. Just turn it off and back on again. I don't know why that always works, but sometimes the system just needs a reboot. Most times that works, unless you're in the unfortunate situation of me and B23 commentating last time out at GPL, because no amount of resetting was fixing that stream, unfortunately. We're gonna actually give it just a smidge to wait for Artura. If he still has problems, then we're just gonna go, and he'll still get 2 points. I'll go in the system and adjust his tally and give him 2 points, unless he actually scores. If he scores higher than that and he gets into the race, then he'll get the points that he deserves. But if he's still unable to make it, then he will still get 2 points. We'll take another quick little break. I'm gonna drink some water and stretch out a bit, and then hopefully we'll have Artura. So we'll be back in a bit, folks. Alright, so here's a curious question. I didn't really notice it till now. How much would you guys want to ride the roller coaster that's in the back end of the grandstands of the circuit? I still think that's pretty cool that it's there, but I still think it's pretty cool that there's just a roller coaster right next to a racing track. You probably get some absolutely dizzying views from up there, but we'll actually give it to 1400 and then 1400 is the hardcore start time, so if we don't get Arturo, unfortunately, he'll still get 2 points, but it will just be unfortunate for the Red Bull Adidas team to not have a driver on track. While we wait, we'll go back to actually spectating some cars on track. Well, it'll spawn us in on Whiteout, who's just getting some extra practice time in. These drivers have had like almost a full like hour and a half of practice now, just due to the other issues we've had, unfortunately. So I will keep an eye on the time. And then hopefully we do get Artur in. I'd hate for him to miss out. But unfortunately, we do have to get started at some point. Don't want to keep you guys waiting too long. But I can assure you, once we actually get racing, the wait will be worth it. And yeah, we're just going to get ready and go racing here in the next minute or so. Also, I don't know how long we've been at this point, but we have 15 followers now on Twitch, and I would like to just thank you guys so much for dropping a follow if you dropped a follow. It's really awesome to see. I know this is the first time, at least that I'm aware of, that Formula GT has been streamed, but I'm so glad you guys are here for it. We still have another 4 races to go after this one, and they're all going to be certified bangers. If you watch NASCAR or F1 and those races might put you to sleep, these races certainly will not. These races are awesome, and I look forward to them every single week when I know there's a Formula GT race coming in. Honestly, they're always the highlight of my week whenever I get to commentate for these amazing drivers and this amazing community. Crunder's acting as a mobile chicane there for a bit. And it's about that time, folks. It is about that time. We got a thing on Twitch. That is true. These drivers are going to be geysers. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Unfortunately, Arturo is not here, but we do have a race we need to get to. And it is go time. For real this time. 27 laps around the Nürburgring. And it's going to be a spicy one. Germany has always been known for having some amazing races around this circuit. And this race is going to be no different. Time for these 11 drivers to give it their all. They will wait now for the 5 red lights to go out. And they're going to be holding onto that brake and waiting to launch. The 5 red lights are on. And it's lights out and away we go. For the second time here in Germany. Whiteout gets the start that he needed. Viper following in pursuit. Yuki actually gets a really good start there. Going into the beginning of the corner. He's moved up the 3rd. But he's got a C-Chan right next to him. C-Chan's going to retake that position. B23 going to be right up behind. And a good start for the front 2. There's a bit of contact there. I think Henwood might have locked up his brakes a bit. Just went a tad wide. Gomez and Matt are already up several places. They started at the back of the grid, and they're both already up into 7th and 8th. Good stuff there from the Racing Force drivers. A rough start there for Flaring Aces, who started off 5th on the grid and now down to 9th. It was the same story as it was in Austria. Flaring Aces had a good starting position, but just tumbled down the order after like a turn 1 incident or something similar. Henwood is now chasing, actually B23 is chasing down Yuki, wanted to get 4th position. He was 4th before the restart. And yeah, so he'll definitely want that spot back. Yuki's putting out some very solid defense there onto B23. And the top 3 keep their spot, but Yuki is going to make a dive. He's got the inside line. And Yuki moves up into 3rd place. This would be the best result all season for this team. if they were to stick in the top 3. A little bit of contact there, a little bit of rubbing between the two cars here, between the Canadian and the Japanese driver. Very solid stuff here from these drivers. Keeping it clean and tidy for the most part, you know. Contact is going to happen. Rubbing is racing after all, as they say. And yeah, we're on lap 2 already of 27. Very good stuff here. Viper is going to go ahead and just try to chase down Whiteout again. Trying to extend that championship lead. He's currently in the lead by 12 points in the Drivers' Championship right now. But they definitely got to keep an eye out for Exo High Caliber trying to remain on, if they want to keep their spot in the Constructors' Championship right now. B23 he's made up, I think he's made up a position, but Gomez is he's up in the 6th place right now with that Lamborghini powered Racing Force car. With Henwood getting demoted a spot, but he's keeping close to Gomez. We knew Gomez was going to make a very hard charge here at the beginning of the race. And Matt, the other Racing Force driver with Alfa Romeo, slightly different livery. Yeah, they made up quite a few positions from being the back two on the grid, being 10th and 11th respectively. They're now up into 6th and 8th, so very good stuff there from these two drivers. C-Chan trying to reclaim a podium position here. It'll be the first podium for him all season long, as the podium is normally dominated by Whiteout, Viper, and Gomez. The only other one being Illusion, who is currently not here. Gomez might be thinking of a run-up onto B23 there. We'll see if the number 17 car can fire off past the number 23. He's gonna try it. Slight bit of contact, but B23 just has that track position, and it's just not gonna stick there for the Mexican driver. B23 holding up some very solid defense there, trying to get as many points as he can for his team. Gomez goes a little bit off track there, but I mean, Racing Force is also in direct competition with HCR, so that's definitely also something to note as well. But if you look on your screen, Henwood is right in the mirrors of him, and he might be fancying a run up here pretty soon as well. But you gotta remember, you can't burn up all of your overtake in one sitting. So, there's a very good chain here going on. But it looks like Matt might be trying to think of a run up onto Crunders, trying to overtake the other IHR machine. But right now, Yuki is in a very good spot to promote his team up a spot in the team's championship right now. There's only 4 points separating that team and the IHR squad. And with Yuki getting a podium, that is very good news if you're a Project Zero driver or a Project Zero fan. Crunders and IHR under attack from the other Project Zero car, and Matt from Racing Force, who did drop a position to Killswitch. Killswitch making it trying to make a run up. Some good defense there. Matt is wanting a move. He's going to go wide. I mean, the inside is in favor of Matt, and Matt moves up a position. He's back to the P9. Oh, Crunders goes very wide there. That is undoubtedly going to result in a track limit penalty. I'd be very surprised if he gets away with that one. And it looks like he might. He might get away with that one. Penalties might not be as strict here as they are at Red Bull Ring. The Red Bull Ring is a very notorious track for track limits. But Viper Viper's down quite a few spots. I wonder what happened there. That is not great if you're the championship leader. He must have went really wide on one of these corners. The wind is actually blowing in a very different direction now. It is blowing more so southeast, but mostly east. If you get caught with a tailwind, these cars are very susceptible to wind changes, so just a little bit of wind can cause you to spin out. Viper's back up a spot. He retakes 6 from Henwood. And Viper's going to try to make a charge back up. Then put T-Chan now in a podium spot too as well. And Yuki's up into second. That's going to be very good news for the Project Zero squad. But even better news for High Caliber Racing. If they finish like this, High Caliber Racing might actually jump up into the lead here when it comes to the team's championship. I think the drivers' championship is still a bit away for now, but it might even change there too. Some very, very strong stuff here from Whiteout. As usual, the High Caliber Racing car is never too far away from the front if it's not in front. But B23 is also in P4, but there's a very hard charging Viper behind him. Viper is going to look for a shot to get back into fourth place. But this is where B23 is going to definitely want to play wingman here for his teammate, for his American teammate. The Americans are definitely going to work together. Some very aggressive defense there from B23, trying to prevent Viper from moving back up into fourth. Because Viper's got pace. There's no doubt about it. Him and Whiteout constantly trading blows on who is the faster driver in the lead. So Viper's going to want to make that move sooner or later. He's going to be burning up a lot of his overtake and his tires. Might even open up a spot for Henwood to make a good move for the IHR squad. Whiteout will get, Viper going on track to get that extra point for being the driver with the fastest lap of this race. Crunders has a pretty good gap for himself right now. Good amount of clean air, but he gets a little squirrely, but he saves it. If that were me, I would have not saved it. I would have definitely been in the grass more than likely. So good on Crunders for making a very solid recovery there in the IHR machine. Killswitch and Matt are still going back at it. Flare Gates is having a miserable race this time out. Start off at P5 and now in last. That will not fare good for the championship leaders right now, the Deadeye Racing squad. But I mean, Viper's up into fourth now. I wonder if he did enough to prevent him from going for a race win for Whiteout here. Whiteout is 14 seconds ahead of Viper, almost 15 now. But B23 did hold him up for at least a lap or so. So it will be a very good showing here from the American driver and the British driver too, from making a hard charge. Gomez is making a good charge as well. I mean, he started from the back of the grid and made it up to 7th. Matt's had a pretty good showing too. He made up quite a few positions, but trickled down the order. Now he's battling with Flare Gases for 10th position, the Alfa Romeo Racing Force car. Not quite getting past Aces there. Ace is putting up some good defense, trying to get as many points now for his team. It is currently damage limitation there for the British driver in 10th place. He wants to get past Killswitch, but Crunders has a half-second penalty, so that'll be good for the direct team battle between IHR and Project Zero, depending on where that penalty is served. I think that's served in Sector 3 somewhere. I think it's where that penalty is served. Keep an eye on it. Matt going a bit wide. It is his debut race, so he's going to make some rookie mistakes in there, but he had a very strong charge there at the beginning of the race. Viper just makes the pass on to C-Champ for a podium spot, and there is a fire in his eyes. The Viper is ready to strike. He has already struck himself back into the podium spots. So right now, I think Deadeye Racing is just in a mode of damage limitation. Obviously, some things did not go right for the driver, the two Brits on this team. Unfortunately, the British squad having a few issues in this race where they've lost plenty of positions. But I think unless Whiteout makes a very similar mistake, then Whiteout might be taking his second race win of the season here. Or no, his third race win of the season here. he will have the most race wins out of everybody this season so far. He won in Brands Hatch and he won at Spa. He did not participate in Spain and he didn't quite get the win. He got a podium still, but not a win in Austria. Oh, this might be a good chance for strategy to come into play here. We'll turn on the race state or the kart data for a bit to see who's been the hardest on those tires. A lot of these cars have actually elected to run on the soft tire compound. The only medium driver, Gomez, Crunders, Aces, and Killswitch are on medium tires, and everybody else is on the soft tires. So those soft tires, they'll be able to go for longer, but they won't have as much grip as the soft. So the soft tires will be better at the start of the race, but as the race goes on, the mediums will be more and more favorable. Because, well, the softs, yes, they give you the most grip. They're the grippiest tire. You have the best traction going in and out of corners. You won't keep that grip for as long as a medium tire would, or a hard tire, but hards aren't a thing in the series, so just scratch that notion. So B23 had a pretty solid race start. He made up a few positions. He was in fourth for a while, but then Viper had that extreme hard charge after getting dumped down to the middle back of the pack. But yeah, now he's catching up to Yuki a little bit, but Yuki's still keeping a pretty consistent gap. Whiteout's got a very comfortable lead of 11 seconds. So I am willing to bet that as soon as the laps hit like the mid-teens, I think, yeah, I think we'll see probably like around that 13, 14, 15 is when we're going to start seeing these cars pit in for some new rubber. So, I mean, we're seeing some very strong racing here. I mean, Viper is making a charge. He's made up 2/10 onto Yuki there. And actually, here's a statistic. Just looking at the lap count on the right side of your screen. The last lap from Viper was 2 seconds faster than Yuki. So, Yuki's got his work cut out for him as Viper just starts pushing harder and harder to try to catch up. He might even want to consider tire conservation but then again, both of these drivers are on the soft tire compound. So it'll be very interesting to see here how that strategy plays out. But wow, that's just so much time made up in between. I think it's going to be another 2-second gap. It's just under 2 seconds, so Yuki was a little bit quicker on that lap, but not by much. Viper still gained right under 2 seconds from the Japanese driver. But Gomez is fancying up a run to Henwood as B23 is the first car to go into the pits, shutting that soft tire. Now that is far earlier than I expected. Going into lap 10 on a fresh set of rubber, fresh set of mediums there for the American driver. So, will we actually start seeing drivers pit in more? Aces is made up a few spots from his woes. Crunders is just running off track limits there, but he's got a penalty he's got to serve again, so this will be a good shot for Aces to get back into the fray. And Killswitch too. Killswitch will get closer to Crunders there. There's a yellow flag. Oh! Henwood is off the track. Henwood goes off the corner there. I wonder if he probably won't let his teammate pass because his teammate has that half-second penalty, so it doesn't make much sense for him to pass. But they're going to maybe swap the place anyway. Contact between the two teammates. This is going to be a really good shot for Flaring Aces now, because Crunders might accidentally block his teammate in, and Aces is up another spot. He's up at the 7th, following the contact, but Crunders is about to start slowing down because on that back straight, like I assumed the penalty line was, He's got to slow down. And Crunders is going to lose that spot to Flaring Aces, and I think they're going to swap positions to Henwood is going to be up. Oh, but contact once again between the two IHR cars. That is definitely not something you want, because Kill Switch, that just opened the door for Kill Switch now. Three cars are battling for 7th, and more contact between Crunders and Henwood. Henwood has lost several spots now because of just him constantly colliding with his teammate. Now, whether that's Crunders being too defensive or what, I'm not sure. Crunders is going to retake the position. We know Crunders is an aggressive driver, but you can't be that aggressive on your own teammate, because that might just mess you both up. Especially when the car that's right between you guys, like an IHR sandwich, is the team you're fighting with for position in the team's championship. That's just not ideal. Because it doesn't matter if Henwood finishes in front of Crunders or vice versa. The amount of team points is going to remain the same. And your team points are already on the verge of, or you guys are already about to lose the position because of Yuki having such a strong drive up in the P2 right now. We see Whiteout pitting in. He's going to actually get rid of the soft tires in favor of the mediums. This actually might be a 2-stop race. We'll see. The 1-stop would be the most ideal, but the 2-stop is definitely going to get you probably the best of both worlds with tires. Yuki's also going to pit in. Whiteout now going to the medium tire compound. C-Chan's also going to pit in. Gomez is up in the 4th now, but I think Viper actually already pitted in for some fresh rubber. We'll take a look at that real quick. Yes, Viper did pit in for some fresh rubber. More cars are filing off into the pits. Gomez is back in a podium spot now, so... But Gomez won't be pitting in for a while. He's actually going to challenge Yuki for 2nd place, who just got out of the pits. Viper going a tad wide there as Gomez holds 3rd place right now. He's going to try to go after Yuki. He's got the better tires. He's got those mediums. Oh, but there's some solid defense. The Racing Force driver going to try to squeeze in the 2nd. There's a little bit of contact there. And Yuki holds the spot. Viper is biding his time. He's on the fresh set of mediums. So he's got better grip than both of the 2 cars in front of him. Viper might be trying to line up a double overtake here. We'll see if it sticks. Gomez goes very wide. He's off track. And Viper gets past him. But now he's got to take a look at the Project Zero car that just... Actually, I just remembered that the Project Zero car ahead of Viper also just pitted in for a set of mediums. So both of these cars are on a fresh set of mediums. It'll just be all dependent on who's got the better pace. Viper's going to go up the inside. But Yuki right now is the one with the inside line. Going into the corner. Gomez will actually get an overtake on the Viper. But Gomez is on the more worn pair of mediums. This is excellent stuff there. But as Travis said, Gomez is, I'm thinking about having a run up to turn 1. And he's going to try to get 2nd place on a worn set of mediums against 2 drivers that are on a fresh set of mediums. Gomez is going to hook it. Oh, he just took a little bit too much inside there, so he's going to lose the spot again to Yuki. Yuki holds on to 2nd. This has been a stellar drive for Yuki here. Yuki has been on a very solid drive here, but so is Gomez. Gomez competing with 2 fresh sets of medium tires against, well, yeah, he's fighting against 2 sets of brand new mediums on worn mediums. Gomez is on 13 lap old medium tires, taking on like 2 or 3 lap old medium tires and holding his own and even winning in some cases. But I think it just locked the brakes a bit too much there as Gomez goes into the gravel. Oh, the PTSD that he might be feeling from that race in Laguna Seca where he almost had a win, but he went off into the gravel, putting him in the 2nd. But I mean, good effort from Gomez though, to hold up that well against 2 cars, 2 very rapid cars, mind you, on a fresh set of medium tires. But now that that's out of the way, Viper is going to try to make a run up to Yuki now. try to get second place back at minimum. Trying to do as much damage limitation, and Yuki had a bit of a slip there. Traction just getting away from him a bit. The wind has intensified there, so that little bit of crosswind might have caught out Yuki a bit. These cars are very wind sensitive after all. Viper lines up for a nice move. He's got the inside line. Yuki's going to try to hook that inside wheel so Viper can't get much further, but Viper's just got that inside. And Viper's back up to P2. Excellent stuff there, but Yuki's not giving it up without a fight. Yuki was going to try to throw it around the outside to try to get ahead, but no dice. Yuki stays in P3 for now. These cars are taking that line very wide, but I guess there's just no track limit penalty trigger there, so they're just making the most of it. These drivers have put so much time into this game, so much time into learning these tracks, so much time in practice that they know where the game actually puts track limits at. Very, very good stuff there from the British and Japanese driver right now, as they are fighting right now for a P2. Now, this would be the only podium so far for Project Zero. Actually, as a whole, I think, because I think this is another team that has was started for this current season of Formula GT alongside Deadeye Racing. So the two newest teams so far are just going at it right now, battling for podium spots. And while Whiteout is sailing off into the distance, he is off to Neverland right now. But right now, Yuki and Yuki and Viper are just fighting right now. Yuki might have a good run up here if he can get enough slipstream, but another thing we have to check. Oh, he's gonna go for it. Ace is gonna fire off into the pit now to get rid of his set of mediums. Oh, he's getting a little bit of contact. Oh, but Yuki's got that inside line, but he just couldn't hold it. A little bit of that dirty air. There's a bit of contact now between Yuki and Viper. And Viper holds on to that position, but oh! Viper spun! Viper spun out! That crosswind must have just caught him out, and Viper spins, giving Gomez the spot, and Yuki's gonna fire off into second place. This will be the best result of Yuki and Project Zero as a whole. That is, oh, you're hating it if you're Viper right now. A very intense battle, but whether it was contact or just that crosswind was just enough to unsettle the car enough to put him into a spin and into the wall. He might have, we'll see if he's got damage there. No damage on the car, but man, you're hated. And he's out of overtake too. Gomez still has a good amount of overtake. Yuki's got some overtake, and Whiteout has a lot of overtake. This is a very strong race for Whiteout right now. We'll see. C-Chan hasn't used any of his overtake yet, saving it. B23 is almost out of his overtake. Krunders has used quite a bit of his overtake as well. We'll check on the other drivers here in a moment, but right now we have a battle going on between Krunders and B23 for P6. I mean, it is crucial for the IHR squad to try to play damage limitation. I know that's a phrase I've been saying a lot, but that's just, it's just the case, the state of things right now for IHR and Deadeye Racing right now. Your lead driver has just fallen back via spins, and I'm assuming it's the spin that put him down in the first place. And then you have Flaring Aces, who has fell down quite a bit too. But, and I mean, Henwood is his first race of the season, so he's not in the greatest spot either. But he is on fresh medium, so he did just pit in. So that might actually play into his hands a bit. We are down, we have about 12 laps left of this Grand Prix, and the action is just getting spicy. We might see a run up from Krunders here. Krunders and B23 go off track there. That's a spin for both cars, I think. Krunders got the worst of it. And I wonder, that's going to be an issue for the stewards later on. Oh, we know Krunders was being very aggressive, even with his own teammate earlier on in the race. So we'll definitely have to see the footage from that later on if that becomes an issue that the stewards will have to handle. And it may be the first post-race penalty of the season. Aces at B23 getting into a little bit of a bumper car match here. Both cars keep it clean, keep it on track. And B23's got that inside line. He's ahead of the apex. And the switchback was attempted. No, it's not going to. Oh, maybe? Maybe? No, it's not going to quite going to. I stand corrected. The switchback, although it took a while, it came into play. Flaring Aces is up a spot, up into P7, but B23 is going to immediately fight to reclaim that spot. He's got the inside line, and Aces is just going to have to take it on the chin. He's going to try to get a good run out of the corner, but it's just not quite enough. These two cars are so close to each other that there's starting to be contact, but just not quite. Oh, I think a little bit of contact there, but B23 is still going to hold on to that position. That's what I love about Formula GT. There is such close racing going on here. Like, even for 6 and 7, this isn't for a race win. Or heck, it's not even for a podium. But these two cars are fighting with all of their being, trying to get this race. Trying to get a new position and more points for their team. Gomez is trying to run to Viper, but I think he's still on that same set of tires. Yes, he's still on those 17-lap old tires. So when he pits in, ooh, Gomez is going to be a driver to keep an eye on. When he pits, and he's likely going to go onto a set of soft tires because you have to run both, he is going to be extremely quick. So keep an eye. We'll definitely want to keep an eye on Gomez. If we had a driver of the day vote, I think my vote would go towards Yuki. Because Yuki's had the best race that Project Zero's had all season long. And it'll be a huge swing of points in their favor if he finishes. Even if Viper ends up getting past him, he'll still finish in a really good spot. Killswitch is going to fire off into the pits now. The first of the Project Zero cars. Actually, sorry. Is the first pit stop for this Project Zero car. Yuki took a pit stop earlier. So, legally, he does not have to take another pit stop, but he can if he so chooses. Yeah, this has just not been a great race for the IHR squad. Whiteout's actually going to make another pit stop. I mean, he's got the real estate to do it. He's got a 30-second gap to Yuki. I wonder if he's going to throw on the soft tires once again for, like, the last 10 laps of this race. If he does, then he's got a good shot at getting the fastest lap as well, especially because he has a lot of overtake remaining. So, he might be trying to go for the actual Grand Slam. Pole position, fastest lap, and the Grand Prix win. And since he's led every single lap of this race, that might be a mega Grand Slam, and it might be the first Grand Slam of the season. I think. Actually, no, Viper's had some. And I think in Spain, Viper had a Grand Slam. I'd have to go back and check the qualifying statistics for that one, so put a little asterisk by that one. But Viper is gonna make a very hard charge. Viper's had one of the races of all time for certain. Not the greatest showing for the British driver. Had some unfortunate mistakes that put him out of the race win contention here. We are down to 9 laps remaining. And it's just not been a great race for Viper. 2 spins. A little bit of a lag there. I do apologize for that, but yeah. Okay, so Matt is on newer tires. I think he's been on those for a minute. I think he did his pit stop earlier. But I don't think Gomez has done his pit stop yet. Yeah, Gomez has not done a pit stop yet. He's been on those same tires for the entire race. I think Gomez might be trying to pit this lap because, I mean, now will probably be his best chance to. So he doesn't lose as much time to C-Chan and Aces, who will be looking to take a shot at the podium. This would be Gomez's first race outside of a podium spot. Oh no, he's just gonna go for it. He's got to make a stop at some point. Unless Gomez made a stop very early on in the race that I didn't see. I think Gomez still has to make another stop. But when he gets on that soft tire, if he gets on that soft tire again, if he already did pit, then oh, I expect fireworks to happen. I expect this driver to make some moves. But still, from 11th to 4th is a very good result. We have seen this before with Gomez. Starts out towards the back of the grid, at the very back of the grid in today's case, and just made such a car charge back up to the front. Amazing stuff there for the Mexican driver. C-Chan, I mean, he's had a pretty decent race. I mean, he qualified P3, which I think is his best qualifying yet in Formula GT, at least this season. But he's had a pretty clean and quiet race. Didn't really get into too many issues. He just had a very hard charging Yuki and a hard charging Gomez to contest with. Oh, speaking of Gomez, he's going for a little bit of a slide there. Not ideal if you're Gomez. I think that might be a sign that those medium tires are very well done. They're cooked by a pretty considerable margin. Let's see if he goes into the pits. He does. Gomez is firing off into the pits. He's making his pit stop. The Racing Force driver gonna be on the soft tire compound. Let's see how much he makes a charge. He comes into the pits. Whatever, Gran Turismo. There it is. There's the Racing Force car. Tires go on, and he's out of there on the soft tires. Now Gomez, he's only got 7 laps to go, so Gomez is going to be in a very strong spot to try to make up some positions there. Speaking of making up positions, after 2 separate spins, Viper is just on the pace. He's about to strike again. Yuki getting a little squirrely there on the exit of that corner there. And Viper's going to try to reclaim second. It'll be definite damage limitation there for the Deadeye Racing squad, but Project Zero will not be complaining about a podium spot if they can keep it. Second will be ideal, but if they can even still hold on to third, then this will be a great result for Yuki there. Yuki and the team. This will probably jump up Yuki several spots in the Drivers' Championship as well. Yuki's on some very good defense today, a very good defensive driver there. Just pestering that Deadeye Racing machine. And Viper's gonna go in and make the lunge. He's got the outside, but Yuki's still holding that inside. Ooh, some very solid defense. Is the switchback gonna be in Viper's favor? No, it's not. That switchback's gonna be in his favor though. He's back up in the P2, but Yuki's staying right on him. Going on to the first person camera of Yuki there. Both going a bit wide. And Viper takes a little bit of extra grass, so that's gonna give Yuki a pretty clean run up, but he doesn't quite take it. He's trying to at least conserve those tires a little bit. Yuki is right behind him. Yuki's gonna make a move. Oh, but Viper's putting on some very good defense too, trying to keep as many points away from that, he's trying to keep the gap to high caliber racing as little as possible right now. And same with Whiteout, because right now the main title fight is between Whiteout, Viper, and Gomez. Gomez isn't going to make as many championship points because of his back row start. But he's got but Viper's going to want to play damage limitation here. He'll make sure the amount of points lost is minimal. But that'll also need to result in Aces outperforming B23, which right now he's got a 12-second gap to almost a 13-second gap to. But another driver that's actually going to get, another driver and team that's going to get a very solid result is C-Chan with FR Racing. The Canadian driver is going to score some very hefty points for his team right now. And Killswitch making a top 8. Oh, there's a car. Oh, Aces went off a bit. That's going to open the door for a B23 to make up some ground onto the British driver now. Gomez is trying to make up some ground, but I just don't think it's enough. I think he might have waited a bit too long there on that soft tire compound to switch that soft tire compound. But he was 2 seconds a lap faster than C-Chan. As we get down to the last 5 laps of this Grand Prix, I just don't think he's got enough time to try to overtake C-Chan. Viper's playing very solid defense, but Yuki's been right up on him. They both pitted at the same lap, I believe. Viper had a few extra slip-ups there and a spin last time he was battling with Yuki, so I mean, these two have just been fighting extra well today. Yuki gonna score the first podium for Project Zero all season. And who knows, if Yuki's back in the car for the next race at Monza in a few weeks' time, then I think we'll have a very solid show. And a very good resurgence from the Project Zero team. Viper goes wide and onto the grass. Yuki makes up a spot up into P2. Yuki is having the race of the season right now. And Viper is trying to get past Yuki, but right now, the Project Zero car is just not making it easy. Viper doesn't have any overtake left though. Yuki might. We'll check on that actually. Oh, neither driver has overtake, so now it's just going to be pure pace for these cars. It is just going to be pure pace for the cars now, or pure driver pace, because the tire wear is about the same. We'll double check that to make sure I'm not wrong. Yeah, Yuki just has a little bit less, or a little bit more wear on the front tires, but less on the back tires compared to Viper there. Viper has got the outside, he's got the run, he's gonna try to make a dive, he's got the inside coming up here. He's gonna be late on the brakes and he's gonna get the move. But Yuki is staying right there, getting the inside for the next corner. A little bit of contact between the two, and Yuki is gonna push him off just ever so slightly. But both drivers ultimately keep it all on the tarmac, and they're just gonna keep on moving. Yuki's off to the wrong a bit. Cuts back in front of Viper, blocking him. And man, this battle for the 2 podium spots has been awesome to watch. You definitely need to check back to Formula GT next time we're here when we go to Monza, because the racing has just been so good today. There's a reason I look forward to every Formula GT race, because the racing is just immaculate. Simply beautiful racing here between these two. And they've kept it clean too. They've had a little bit of contact here and there. But I mean, overall it's been very tight. Oh, but there's a very big slide there from Yuki. But he still keeps up with Viper quite considerably. Very excellent race between these two drivers, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to miss out on this. Stay right where you are. Don't go to another Twitch stream, because right now you're getting the best of the best right now. There's a yellow flag and it's Matt, the other Racing Force driver, having a moment there. And it would be a blue flag given for Viper and Yuki, but that might have given Viper exactly what he needed to hold on to second place because of that accident by Matt there, the new Racing Force driver. Gomez has made up a lot of time to C-Chan there. I just don't think it was enough. I just do not think it was enough, unfortunately. Yeah, Viper's now pulling a second away now from Yuki. Neither driver has overtake really to try to combat this. So we'll see if there's any other close races. Matt is having a little fun slipping around a bit, turning his Formula GT machine to a Formula Drift car. but it's costing him time to Crunders. There's a blue flag for Henwood. I believe that's probably because of Whiteout, maybe? Is Whiteout behind? I don't... Yeah, no, I think Whiteout is behind the IHR driver, but he's just keeping it just enough where he doesn't have to get a penalty for a blue flag. Yep. Yeah, I think Viper's broken that slipstream, so he'll sail off into P2. It's the final lap of the race. It'll be the final lap of the race soon for Whiteout, who's looking to take another win here. It'll be his 3rd win of the season, and a very dominant one of that. Pretty much led from lap 1 and just took it to the house. Took it to that top step of the podium. So very strong stuff there from the American team of High Caliber Racing. Yep, and there's the blue flags. Henwood's gonna have to get out of the way for Whiteout. Unless he faces a penalty. Oh, that's not the spot of the track you want to be on if you're Henwood right there. But, I mean, no incident, got out of the way. I mean, it's not like Whiteout would lose a whole lot of time to that. Viper is pulling away from Yuki, but Yuki's had a stellar race. P3 will be the best result for the team and the driver of the season. C-Chan also having the best result of the season, but he's got to watch out for Gomez there, who's on a hard charge. But right now, the man that's on the top step of that podium is going to be Whiteout, unless Whiteout has a disconnect here or just takes it off track. But Whiteout's consistency and just raw pace is going to prevent that from happening. He's got one more corner left, and he's going to take it to the house. How's that for sorry, he's got another few corners, my bad. But how's that for a anniversary comeback, High Caliber? You have a driver that's about to win by 33 or 32 seconds. Now he's about to approach the last corner of this track. He led from lap 1, took it straight to the house. And that is definitely a 2-year celebration you want to have. Whiteout wins the Nürburgring GP here in Germany. Round 5 is on the wraps, and Whiteout took a dominant start-to-finish win with fastest lap to boot. And that is exactly what you want if you're High Caliber Racing. Well done. Viper, oh, Yuki must have had a massive slip up there. But Viper's going to go ahead. He had some turmoil in a few laps ago, but he's going to go ahead and round out P2 for Viper right there. And Yuki is on track to get his best result of the season. Coming into P3, that'll be a lot of good points there for the Project Zero team. And Yuki will go ahead, take P3, and that's a podium for Project Zero Racing. Excellent stuff there from our drivers today. C-Chan's going to get a strong finish. Gomez was right there waiting to take 4th from him. But for the first time, Gomez is not on the podium of a race. But still, he started from P11, got to P5. Pretty solid race. And Flaring Aces did what he needed to do, and he outperformed and beat B23. That's going to go well for the driver standings. That's going to be a little bit more of that damage limitation there that Deadeye Racing had to do for the season. B23, Killswitch are actually going to have a last lap battle for it. As the last 2 cars that need to finish, the last 2 cars on the lead lap. Oh, bit of contact there. And just barely by a 1/10 of a second. B23 takes P7. But it's about this man that's about to appear on your screen. The number 26 of Whiteout. Clean race, pole position, and fastest lap. That's a race win there for our driver, Whiteout. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the standings again. Whiteout, Viper, and Yuki round out the podium positions. Followed by C-Chan, Gomez, Aces, B23, Killswitch, Henwood, Crunders, and Matt rounding out the last parts of the grid. Well, that was a very exciting race, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to miss our next round when we head to Monza. Unfortunately, though, it is going to be a few weeks from now. Normally we do every other week when it comes to Formula GT, but this time we do have a bit of a break in between races. So, the next time we'll be back on the grid will be Monza on November 23rd. So you got just over a month to wait for the next race. It's going to be a long wait, but the wait will be certainly worth it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time in Italy. Peace out.